Welcome back to Proactive. I'm delighted to be joined on the line now by John Lee, who is the CEO of FLYN Nickel. John, great to see you. Could you please start by giving us a bit of background about the company?
Yes. Well, Tom, FLYN Nickel is a new company that started earlier in February 2022. It's listed on the Toronto Ventures Exchange. The symbol is FLYN, and over the OTC, that's FLYNF. The company is all about nickel. We have acquired a nickel project the year before, and it's what we believe is one of the highest nickel grade, nearest to permit, and the greenest nickel project that there is available.
Tell us a little bit more about the project. Where is it? What sort of size?
Yes, well, the project's name is Minago. It's located in the Thompson nickel belt. And Thompson nickel belt is the second largest nickel producing camp in North America, only behind Sudbury, and it's actually ahead of Voisey's Bay. Over 5 billion pounds of nickel is being produced, and it's still active today, being produced by Vale. And the project has excellent infrastructure, and it's a very advanced nickel sulphide project as opposed to nickel laterite. Over 1 billion pounds of nickel is being delineated. Of that, 2/3 in the measured indicated category, and about 1/3 is in the inferred category. Majority of that nickel is open pit optimized at the grade of 0.74% nickel. 0.74% nickel a decade ago, the seeing average or below average, but because there's been lack of exploration in nickel, that at a nickel sulfide 0.74 grade is probably one of the top tier nickel sulfide open pit projects in North America, Tom.
And what stage is the project at the moment?
The project has been through over 85,000 meters of drilling, over $50 million being spent since the discovery in the early 90s. And there has been a feasibility study done in 2011, 10 years ago. And this is one of the priorities of FLYN Nickel set out to do in 2022 was to update that feasibility study. The results of which would be made available, I would say, probably within the next 60 days. In addition to that, the permit is in the final stages of approval by the Manitoba government. We're being very fortunate to be working with a province, Manitoba, who's very proactive mining, and also have a lot of emphasis in the battery metal space. And the First Nations, whom also have an excellent relationship with Norway House, whom I met a couple of months ago. And again, we're very fortunate to be forging a very strong bond with Norway House, who recognize the need for employment, and also are very eager to contribute to the green energy space.
Well, you've mentioned green energy there. There's a lot of emphasis on nickel at the moment. So could we just get your thoughts on the state of the nickel market as it stands?
Well, Elon Musk said a couple of years ago, mine as much nickel as possible. We're going to give you a big, giant, fat contract, so it's my responsibility. I think that is what partly contributed, Tom, to the some of the unprecedented action you see in the nickel market, where nickel went from $10 a pound to $50 a pound just 8 months ago in March on the London Metals Exchange, actually forced the LME to halt the nickel trading for almost a week to restabilize the market. Nickel has been traded between $5 to $10 a pound in the last decade, and is broken out of the $10 range. And the action was extremely violent, so that's very indicative of the bull market. And now it is resting at a support, used to be resistance at around $10 to $12 range, and waiting for the next phase of the bull market. We're very bullish of nickel, which is the de facto standards for the high performance EV batteries. And pick any investment bank, you will see that the EV penetration is anywhere from 20 to 40%. And that will entail doubling of the nickel demand. Likely to the case, you're not going to produce double the amount of nickel in the next 5 years or 10 years. So likely it's going to be some substitute in the traditional steel making stainless steel industry to provide that balance in the nickel market, Tom.
All right, I've just got one final question for you, John, and that is, why is it that you think that you and FLYN Nickel as a company are the ones who are going to make this project a success?
Well, it is what Minago is one of the very few nickel sulfide projects in North America that can potentially bring the nickel on stream by 2027, because the nickel market is underexplored, and it's one of the greenest project, one of the highest open pit nickel grade, 0.74 for a sulfide project, and it's not a traditional exploration company. It's over 60 to 80 million dollars being spent on it, with resources that are well developed. So I think the risk of entry point right now is quite low. given the bullishness in the nickel market going forward.
All right. Well, let me wish you the very best of luck. CEO of FLYN Nickel, John Lee. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for your time, Tom.